Question 6. So again, we can either expand the bracket on the left hand side, or we can divide both sides by 2. In this case, it probably will be easier to just expand the left hand side. So on the left hand side we have 2x plus 3 has been multiplied by 2. So using the grid method we'll expand this. So 2 times 2x is 4x, and 2 times plus 3 is plus 6. So the left hand side expanded is 4x plus 6 is equal to 3x minus 7. Now as you can see, we've got 4x on the left hand side and we have 3x on the right hand side. So we have x's on both sides of the equal sign. We need to have them on one side, so we always collect them on the side where there's more already. So we can see already there is 4x on the left hand side and only 3x on the right hand side. So we're going to get rid of the 3x on the right hand side. How do you get rid of this 3x? Well, we have to take away 3x. So if we're going to take away 3x on the right, we're going to have to take away 3x on the left. So this time on the right hand side, 3x take away 3x is just 0, and we're left with negative 7, minus 7. And on the left hand side, 4x take away 3x is just 1x. We don't need to write 1x, we can just write x, and the plus 6 we've done nothing with that, so we can just copy that down. Now to get the x on its own, I have to get rid of the plus 6, so that means take away 6 on the left hand side, and I have to take away 6 on the right hand side, because you have to do same to both sides. So we've just taken away 6 from both sides. So put the equal sign in, and on the left hand side the plus 6 and the minus 6 cancels out, leaving just x. And then on the left hand side we have to do minus 7 minus 6. So be careful, because negatives here, be careful. I've done a completely separate playlist on adding and subtracting negative numbers and multiplying and dividing negative numbers. You might want to watch that. But minus 7 minus 6 is equal to minus 13. And if possible, if you've got time, you should always check your answer by substitution, especially with calculator, will be much easier. But in this case, let's assume we're not using a calculator. So the question started off by saying 2 times 2x plus 3 is equal to 3x minus 7. Now whenever we see x, we're going to replace it with minus 13, because we think x is equal to minus 13. So on the right hand side it's going to be 3 times, not x, but 3 times minus 13, and then just take away 7. On the left hand side it's going to be 2 times, and then inside the bracket is, instead of 2 times x, we're going to say 2 times minus 13 plus 3. So on the right hand side, so we've got 3 times minus 13 is minus 39, and then we'll take away 7. And on the left hand side, following the rules of BIDMAS, we have to do 2 times minus 13. So let's copy the 2 in the bracket down first. 2 times minus 13 is minus 26, and then add 3 and then close the bracket. Now on the right hand side, minus 39 minus 7 is equal to minus 46. On the left hand side, well, we've got 2 times whatever's inside the bracket, so minus 26 add 3 is minus 23, and as you can see 2 times minus 23 is equal to minus 46, so we were correct. With question 7, we've got 5 times, and then inside the bracket we've got 3x plus 2 is equal to 10x. Now we have an option here. We can either multiply the left hand side or expand the left hand side out. But in this case it might be easier just to divide both sides by 5, because we've got 5 times something is equal to 10 times something. Okay, so we are allowed to divide both sides by 5. So if I divide this side by 5, and if I divide this by 5, 10 divided by 5 is just 2, so it's 2x, or 10x divided by 5 is 2x. and on the left hand side the times 4 and the divided 4 cancels out, leaving me with just 3x plus 2. So remember, always check, okay, this number times this number is equal to this number times that number. So, and then we realize that 5 is a factor of 10, and that's why we're able to do that. So now if we want the x, if we want to find the x by itself, we have to decide which side to collect all the x's. So I can see the left side has more x's, so I'm going to collect all the x's on the left hand side. That means that I don't want the 2x on the right hand side, so to get rid of that I'm going to take away 2x on the right, take away 2x on the left. So 2x take away 2x is just 0, 3x take away 2x is 1x, but we'll just write x, and the plus 2 will just copy it down. And if I want the x on its own, I have to get rid of this plus 2, so I'm going to take away 2 on the left, take away 2 on the right, because we have to do the same on both sides. So we've just taken away 2 from both sides. So 0 take away 2 is obviously minus 2 or negative 2. The plus 2 and the minus 2 cancels out, leaving with just x. So we've just worked out that x is equal to minus 2. And it's always best to check your answers out. So the question started off as 5 times 3x plus 2 is equal to 10x. So every time we see x, we're going to replace it with minus 2. So 10 times, instead of x, minus 2. On the left hand side, 5 open bracket, instead of 3 times x, 3 times minus 2 plus 2. So 10 times minus 2 is minus 20. And here we'll do 5 times, and then let's sort out the brackets first. So inside the bracket we're going to follow a bit mass, so 3 times minus 2 is minus 6, add 2, and then close the bracket. So on the right hand side we still have the minus 20, and the left hand side it's 5 times whatever is in the bracket. So we've got inside the bracket we've got minus 6, add 2, which is minus 4, and 5 times minus 4 is indeed equal to minus 20, so we will correct x is equal to minus 20. So minus 2, x is equal to minus 2. And remember here, minus 6 add 2 will be equal to minus 4. If you're not sure about adding, subtracting, or multiplying, dividing negative numbers, there's a separate playlist for that. With question 8, we'll have to expand the brackets on both sides. 3 is not a factor of 5, so we can't just easily divide or cancel out easily. So we'll have to expand both sides. So on the left hand side we started off with 4x minus 1. So I'm using the grid method, times by 3. So 3 times 4x is 12x, and 3 times minus 1 is minus 3. So in case you went away, where did this 4x come from? It came from here. Where the minus 1 come from? It came from here. And where did this 3 come from? It came from here. So the left hand side, after we expand it, we'll have 12x minus 3. So we have to do the same now for the right hand side. So on the right hand side we have 2x plus 3 and then the 5. So 5 times 2x is 10x, and 5 times 3 is 15 positive. So the right hand side is 10x plus 15. Now we have to ask which side of the equal sign has more x's. So you can see the left hand side does, so that's where we want to collect all our x's. We don't want x's anywhere else, only on the left hand side. So that means we have to get rid of this 10x, so we take away 10x. So if we've taken away 10x here, we have to take away 10x from here as well. So 10x take away 10x is just 0, and the plus 15 we just copy it down. So 12x take away 10x is 2x, and let's copy the minus 3 down. Now to get the x on its own, we have to add 3 to both sides. to get rid of this minus 3. So 15 add 3. So to get the x on its own, we have to get rid of this minus 3. So how do you get rid of minus 3? We have to add 3 on both sides. So 15 add 3 is 18. The minus 3 and the plus 2 cancels out, leaving just 2x. And to get the x on its own, we have to get rid of this times 2. So we divide by 2 here, we divide by 2 here. 18 divided by 2 is 9 on the right hand side, and the times 2 and the divide cancels out, and just x. So x is equal to 9. And it's always best to check your answers using substitution. So we think x is equal to 9. So let's copy the question out first. 3 times 4x minus 1 is equal to 5 times 2x plus 3. So every time we see x, we're going to replace it with 9. So 5 times 2 times, not x, but 2 times 9, add 3. And on the left hand side, we've got 3 times, and then not 4 times x, but 4 times 9. Take away 1, close brackets. Now using the rules of BIDMAS, we're going to do this bit first, the 2 times 9. So let's copy things down first. So 5 times, what's 2 times 9? It's 18. Add 3. On the left hand side, again same thing, 3 times. Do the by following BIDMAS, we have to do multiplication first. So 4 times 9 is 36. Take away 1. So now we have to do 5 times. What's 18 add 3? 18 add 3 is 21. So we have to do 5 times 21 on the right hand side. On the left hand side, we have to do 3. Remember it's times here, so it's 3 times whatever 36 take away 1 is. 36 take away 1 is 35. So what's 5 times 21? Well, 5 times 20 is 100, and 5 times 1 is 5, so it's 105. And on the left hand side, we do 3 times 35. So what's 3 times 30 is 90, and 3 times 5 is 15, so 90 15 is 105. So we were correct. X is equal to 9. Just to quickly explain, 35, by doing partition method, we can multiply it out. Okay, we do 3 times 10 first is equal to 30, and then 3 times 30 should be is equal to 90. So we partition the 35 as 30 and 5. So 3 times 30 is equal to 90, and 3 times 5 is equal to 15. And when you do 90 at 15, you'll get 105. So there's a separate playlist for multiplying mentally. Question 9. Again, to solve this, we have to expand the brackets on both sides. So on the right hand side, it's x minus 7 inside the bracket multiplied by 5. So 5 times x is 5x. 5 times minus 7 is minus 35. So the right hand side can be written as 5x minus 35. Now look at the left hand side. Again, we've got 3x plus 1. So 3x plus 1 times by 3. So what's 3 times 3x is 9x, and what's 3 times plus 1 is plus 3. So we can do 9x plus 3 is equal to 5x minus 35. So now that I've expanded the brackets, I'm going to collect all the x's on the left hand side, because that's where there are more x's. So I don't want the 5x on the right hand side, so I have to take away 5x from both sides. So take away 5x there, take away 5x there. So obviously the 5x take away 5x is just 0, leaving me with just minus 35 on the right hand side. And on the left hand side, 9x take away 5x is just 4x plus 3. Now to get the x on its own, we have to get rid of this plus 3, so we have to take away 3 from both sides. So I take away 3 here, take away 3 here. So what's 35 take away 3? Minus 35 take away 3 is minus 38. The plus and the minus cancels out, so 4x is equal to minus 38. So we have to divide both sides by 4 times 4 and divide 4 cancel out, leaving just x. So we now have minus 38 over 4. There's lots of different ways of getting around this problem now. So we've got minus 38 over 4. Now if you think about it, if we half both the numerator and the denominator, then we could write x is equal to, what's half, it's negative, what's half of 4 is 2, what's half of 38? 19. So the answer is negative 19 over 2. Now maybe let's write negative there. So x is equal to, you can write 2 here. How many times does 2 go to minus 19? Or if you think about how many times does 2 go to 19, we can write 8 times. And then 1 left. 2 times 8 is 16, so it's 2 times 9. 2 times 9 is 18, and 1 is 19. And because it's a negative number, we put minus there, so it's minus 9.5. So always check the answer.